And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
And the flying weather forecast for the first day of the weekend, we've got VFR in the interior, Kodiak Island right on up to the north slope. And then out over the ocean, IFR there coming down through the Bering Strait, covering most of the Bering Sea a little bit better here as you head in toward the coastline. VFR right along the southwest coast there into Bristol Bay and portions of the Alaska Peninsula. And let's see, the eastern Gulf of Alaska, we've got some IFR out here with marginal VFR along the coast there, sliding in over the southern panhandle. And for the afternoon, still IFR right along the coastal areas of the southeast coast, but off the coast here for the North Gulf Coast, so good VFR there all the way up to the Arctic coast, and IFR right along the Bering Strait here into the northern Bering Sea. A little bit of a break here to the south. Pribilof Islands, marginal VFR tomorrow afternoon, at least forecast to be. IFR eastern Aleutians westward, and VFR for Bristol Bay. And then for the Sunday morning time frame, Bering Sea northward through the Strait and the Chukchi Sea and Arctic Ocean, all IFR. And the Aleutians, marginal VFR into the Alaska Peninsula from about, roughly Chignik northeastward here, VFR. Possible marginal VFR Sunday morning here over the Susitna Valley up to the Alaska Range. Otherwise, pretty good conditions into the Copper River Basin and the southeast coast, marginal VFR. And then for the Sunday afternoon period, marginal VFR for the southeast coast there. VFR again, all of interior Alaska, including Kodiak Island. You'll be surrounded by marginal VFR there. Alaska Peninsula, inland areas burning off to VFR for the afternoon. Aleutians, marginal, Bering Sea, northward through the Strait into the Arctic Ocean there. IFR. Passes, all the passes open tomorrow through the mountainous area, at least the ones I'm showing here, but even the ones I'm not showing should be open as well, should be VFR flying through all of them. Lake Clark and Merrill, rainy, windy. Isabel, Mintesta, VFR, Tanita, VFR. Same forecast reportage, either approach and Chilkoot and White, good VFR. Freezing levels here, 6,000 to 8,000 feet up there off the, 6,000 feet western Arctic coast, all the interior 8,000 feet, and then slipping back down to 6,000 feet over the southern southeast coast. Not much of a gradient out here over the Bering Sea, freezing levels running anywhere from 8,000 feet or higher. And for the icing, we've got, with that system out here over the Aleutians, we've got a band of considerable moderate rime icing, mostly north of the Aleutian chain there and well southwest of the Pribilofs, but kind of grazing Adak and Atka tonight, and then kind of moving in between Atka and Nikolsky during the afternoon hours tomorrow. And from there, looking at the jet stream, and the main strongest winds are south of the area here, off the charts, out west, and just barely on the map here off to the southeast there. So we're left with a kind of a light variable wind flow under basically high pressure here, weak low in the Gulf of Alaska, providing easterly winds over the southeast interior, turning northeast here across south central Alaska. And system out over the Bering Sea, not all that strong, producing 60-knot winds in a small area there over the south central Bering. And at 9,000 feet, southeast winds here ahead of that low center out to the west there, 40 to 45 knots. Light and variable over the interior into the Gulf of Alaska, eastward to the Panhandle, and then an Arctic system up there giving some southwest winds at about 40 knots just off the western Arctic coast. 3,000 feet, same thing, 40-knot winds just off the western Arctic coast there. Light winds over the interior into the Gulf of Alaska. South winds at 50 knots here for the eastern Aleutians ahead of that frontal boundary there just to the west, and 45 knots west of the Pribilofs. In the southeast coast and Gulf, light variable winds. So look for a turbulence-free day tomorrow for just about all the interior, or nothing too significant, even the Panhandle there. Up to the north here with those southwest winds, that system back to the west, that could give some considerable moderate turbulence to places like Point Hope and Cape Lisburne, maybe into the Lisburne Hills there as well. And also here from about False Pass across the eastern Aleutians, surface to about 8,000 feet.